Welcome to the Retirement Evolved podcast with certified financial fiduciary Adam Bruno.
Welcome back. We are back. Lauren, how are you, Lauren?
I'm doing great, Adam. How are you?
I am wonderful. Notice how I said, how are you, Lauren? Because you can answer me directly. So
I can.
I know.
Yes. Again, we're going with this again. You're never going to let me let this down.
I know.
Huh?
I'm sorry. I am Adam Bruno, certified financial fiduciary. And with me, as always, is the one, the only, the world's greatest administrator, Lauren Trolson.
Hello, hello.
Hello. We are back. I'm so excited. Listen, I'm a little fired up. I know I'm going to get to this week in history, but I want to start out with something that really spoke to me the other day. I'm watching TV, I'm flipping through, and there's another financial advisor in our area that's on TV with Sean Hannity, and he's clearly paid Sean Hannity to be Sean Hannity's guy in this area, right? So if you're listening to this, families, I just want you to be perfectly aware. I'm not going to talk anybody down, but it just makes me angry when I see someone pay for Sean Hannity to say you're the guy. And then this other advisor starts talking about the 9% return that he can get people. The 9% return. Nothing else. Doesn't say anything else about it, right? It's not, none of it's about goals or vision, right? It's just about, hey, I can get you a 9% return. So the absolute gall that we still see this product pushing crap on TV, because that's what it is. It's product pushing crap. And yeah, it's worked in the past, but it doesn't work anymore. It doesn't fly in this area because Fort Myers is the evolution yard from now on. And people just need to be put on notice. You're in our yard. So that 9%, that magical 9% that's being discussed is actually from a product called a barrier note. And our families know it really well. It's specifically designed to be used for income and income needs, but basically you put a barrier on the S&P 500 of 30%. So as long as the S&P 500 does not go down more than 30%, our families, and I know our families receive a 10% cash flow, not a 9%. So the problem with this individual who was on TV is he literally offers one barrier note from one bank or one financial institution, right? That doesn't work with evolution. In the evolution yard, there's multiple banks that are tested, that are benchmarked. Things are obviously, you know what it's like in the banking world right now, Lauren. How many banks have gone down now? I mean, it's
scary.
It's scary. So it's also scary when you see somebody on TV talking about a 9% return that clearly comes from a bank, but not even explaining what it is. So my rant is now officially over. And because I talked for so long and everybody wants to hear you, not me, why don't you start with the say what?
The say what? Couple things, actually. Road crews and beekeepers were busy bees after a semi-crash caused about 1 million bees to be released.
1 million?
1 million.
Wow.
Yeah. The highway was partially closed while beekeepers were summoned to help recapture the bugs. No one was hurt in the crash.
Were the bees hurt?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, that's a more advanced question. I'm sorry.
Yes. Well, hopefully not. Another say what? You can literally make your portfolio more liquid by investing in whiskey.
I see what you did there. More liquid. I like it. Go on.
Rare bottles of whiskey have become highly collectible assets, with a 1926 bottle being sold at the Sotheby's auction for 1.5 million pounds, which is 1.9 million in US dollars.
Stop it. For a bottle of whiskey?
For a bottle of whiskey.
Oh, Lord. I don't know if I've ever had that much money in my life. It was 1.9. I'll go. I mean, can you imagine the person raising the paddle to go higher?
How often do you drink that?
Oh, my God. You can't drink it, can you? I mean, that's if you paid 1.9 for it, you better have a really good time.
It has to be a very special occasion.
Oh, very.
Yes. Analysts say investing in whiskey has the potential to be a lucrative move. And if it all goes wrong, you can console yourself with a good drink.
Good stiff
there you
drink.
Go.
There. All right. So listen, this week in history, 1877, Rutherford B. Hayes has the first phone installed in the White House. I did not know it was that early. And you remember how we're supposed to answer the phone, Lauren? What we're supposed to say when we answer the phone?
I know exactly what we say when we answer the phone.
What is it?
Hello.
No. Gosh, you never listen to me. So you're supposed to say ahoy. That was how the phone was intended. Right. Ahoy there, right? Okay. 1965, Warren Buffett gains a controlling interest in Berkshire Hathaway. The shares were trading, get this, at less than $20 per share at the time.
Wow.
Right? Crazy. In 2010, at age 88, Betty White, God bless her soul. I still want to riot after she died. I thought
I
we were going to make
know.
it. the oldest person ever to host Saturday Night Live after hundreds of thousands of fans signed a Facebook campaign rallying in support. So, of course, she died December 31st, 2021, just shy of her 100th birthday.
I think it was just a couple days. Yeah.
I love Betty White.
Yeah, I know.
I could still watch the Golden Girls and just to see Betty White. I mean, come on. What is that name of that city? St. Olaf. Back at St. Olaf, right? I mean, it was just crazy. Okay, so we are Evolution Retirement Services. We are coming to you live from our podcast here, our office, as a matter of fact. You know, the office does make a good podcast location because you could do a podcast anywhere. But we help any family that wants our help with navigating through their entire retirement, from investments to taxes, to estate planning, to Medicare planning, to any other services they might require, telehealth, medicine, travel agent, whatever they need. We have somebody for them. It has been such a pleasure. And Lauren, you know, we were just talking about this the other day, the journey to get here. The transition from investment focused to goal focused. That's it. What does it matter if you make 9% and you have no plan or no goal with how you're going to spend it, how you're going to keep it, right? These are all questions that we ask, right? 30% return in your investments. That's great if you make 30%. But at this point, you and I both know it doesn't change your lifestyle. But if you lose 30%, your lifestyle could change quite a bit, right? I mean, it's crazy. So we made this transition a long time ago. We brought some families with us. We talk all the time at workshops, on the podcast, the book. Everything is available for you, tax-free. FortMyers.com. TaxFreeFortMyers. Spell the whole thing out. TaxFreeFortMyers.com. Hey, listen, if you're listening to this, we want to see you. We want to see you at one of our workshops. Go to TaxFreeFortMyers.com and register. It's absolutely free. There's no cost. I know it sounds too good to be true. It's not. It's not too good to be true, because if you're going to those events, you already have questions. You have questions about your retirement, and you want to know the opportunities that you have that nobody is talking about. Opportunities like Roth conversion, Medicare surcharges, advanced tax planning, advanced estate planning, all of those things you never hear about, right? And you're even lied to about some of them. So that's who we are. That's what we do. Fort Myers is our yard. Southwest Florida, that's next. But right now, Fort Myers is our yard. We're going to do a little expansion. We're going to expand the fence pretty soon. But
love it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and we would like to offer you a friendly invitation to attend our upcoming live educational workshops, where we explore how to plan a retirement that aligns with your goals. We believe that these workshops provide valuable insights and guidance on achieving a goal-focused retirement.
One more time.
A goal-focused retirement.
That's right.
Just a couple details on dates and whatnot on the upcoming workshops. We're doing the Westin in Cape Coral on Monday, May 22nd, and Wednesday, May 24th at 11 o'clock sharp.
A.M.
11 a.m.
Yeah, p.m.'s too late for me these days.
Oh, okay.
I'm out after
yeah,
Jeopardy.
Gotcha.
Right? Okay.
Well, Jeopardy ends at 9, so.
Jeopardy ends at 8.
Does it?
Yeah, I'm out. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't even get to double digits anymore.
Right,
I'm asleep.
You're done. And we're also having the Hilton Garden Inn in Fort Myers on Monday, June 5th and Thursday, June 8th at 11 a.m.
Listen, in these workshops, for all you families listening, they're open. They're open to you. You come, you learn. That's what happens. We don't serve any fancy brunch or dinner or anything. That's it. You come, you learn, you get what you need, you go home. That's it. And if you have questions, you contact us. And the reality is, we don't work with everybody who contacts us through the podcast, who comes to these events. We don't work directly with everyone because we don't want to. We provide a high level of service, concierge style service to the families that really need us, that will bring the most value to. But our mission, especially in Fort Myers, because did I say that Fort Myers is our yard?
It's our yard.
It's our yard. That's right. Yeah, getting a little fired up here. We want to help everyone who wants that help. Everybody who contacts us, everybody who walks through the door, we want to help you. That's mission number one, right?
That's right. Like Adam said, visit taxfreefortmyers.com. You can click on a workshop registration or contact us directly at 239-771-8696. We'll help you with the sign-up process. I'm sure you'll be talking to me, and we hope to see you guys there.
Right. And you know what? Speaking of help, why don't we just keep the good times rolling and give a little bit more help? What else you got for us today?
Economy, inflation, delaying retirement dreams.
Okay.
Your retirement dreams, your retirement goals.
Retirement goals,
yes,
vision. Dreams is another word for vision. That's right. That's right.
The decline in both stocks and bonds in 2022, combined with a spike in inflation, caused 70% of respondents to say that they are worried a great deal about the economy. Here are some other findings from John Hancock Retirement's 9th annual stress test and well-being report. Adam?
38% of employees believe they'll have to retire later than they expected. This one's always a hard one for me because you know that a lot of people, and maybe it's you if you're listening, you know, a lot of families, a lot of successful families, they go to their jobs and they're like, okay, I'm stuck now. How many times have we had meetings with successful families and they're still like 68, 69? They're like, well, I just can't leave yet.
Right,
the company
just can't
needs
let
me,
go.
right? They need me. I have to make the transition. I have to do it. Listen, let's talk about the average person. The average person saying 38% of those average people saying they're going to have to retire later than they expected. That's a scary number, right? I mean, but yet those 38%, they're stopping at Starbucks every day for their $8 cup of coffee.
latte.
Right? That's right. Got to get it. And maybe on the way home too, because it was such a hard day. We got to give ourselves a little treat. Right?
I'm all about it. Treat yourself, but to an extent. You know,
every once in a while you have to validate is what I like to
absolutely.
say. Right? If I want an expensive watch once every 5 years, I'm going to validate a little bit. I'm going to take a step back, right? But this country over validates.
Agreed.
Right? Everything is a celebration. Everyone gets a trophy.
I finished my lunch. I should go get a Starbucks.
I only had a salad for lunch. I can have a Starbucks, right? And then 70% said they worried a great deal about the economy. I can't believe it was only 70%. Who the hell isn't worried about the economy right now?
What's that other 30% doing?
They're probably living off the grid. You know, I hear that's a big thing now. They live off the grid, the sustainable ecosystems, all that crap. Yeah. And then 70% also said they'd be focused on growing, maintaining, or investing their savings. So what's happening? Why aren't they doing it? Right? You could be focused on it. Doesn't mean you're doing it.
Right.
Doesn't
mean that's not putting it into action. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, where do you fall in all this? Because you already know where I stand. I don't see ever retiring. Like I love this too much. Now I'm only 41. So in 10, 15 years, will that change? Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know. But like an average worker, I could see that. Like imagine if you had to continue to work at Potts for the rest of your life. For those of you that don't know, not only is Lauren the world's greatest administrator, she's also the world's greatest bartender. Tom Cruise has nothing on her. You want to talk about bartending skills? Lauren is amazing, and she's a people person, so people love her. So if you had to work at Potts and of course she only does it part-time now, but if you had to work at Potts for the rest of your life and that was your full-time job, I mean, put it in that situation. You don't own the company. You don't have a lot of responsibility with the company. You just have to work the job, right?
Right.
So would you be one of those people who thought you might need more time to retire then?
I don't think so. No. I think it depends on, asset level at that point as well. Do you feel comfortable coming out of there and knowing that you're okay? I mean, being a bartender, it's a lot of that people, pleasing and things like that. It's tough to say. I mean, if you're not secure in your financial world, then I think that, it just depends.
But we can agree that the job has something to do with it, right?
Sure.
I mean, I think anybody can agree with that.
Sure.
The job does have something to do with it. It's funny because my wife, we went away last week to Disney, or 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago now? We went for the weekend or whatever. Yeah. The one Friday she took off, like the other girl and the other supervisor that are usually there, one of them has to be there at all times, right? And it's like, well, they both had vacation scheduled at the same time. That's just the way it worked. And it's funny because Cynthia, the other supervisor, they were talking, we were all out playing Topgolf last week. And, my comment to both of them, hey, when you both weren't there, because her husband, Brandon, and I, we kind of like, we go off on our own little spin, but they talk about work the whole time, right? I mean, it's like, okay. And that's another reason I never want to work for a corporation again. So they both work for UPS, full disclosure. And of course, UPS is there's a lot of crap going on there, but they spend the whole time talking about, well, when we left, this was happening. And Brandon and I both had the same thought at once. We said, so when you were both gone, you came back and the building was still standing, right?
Yeah, it wasn't on fire.
Yeah. I mean, so the retirement, that's why I don't trust percentages a lot, because sometimes retirement is just about how you feel about the job.
Sure.
If you really think that place can't survive without you, go ahead and just pass away the next day and see what happens. Like they're not even going to send flowers most of the time, right? So I mean, I'm sorry, I'm real blunt today. I don't know what's wrong with me. I had some coffee earlier. I don't know.
Oh,
if
you
that's
did?
What it is. Yeah, I did.
Oh,
that might be what it is.
That's definitely what it is.
Yeah. So, and then as far as growing, maintaining, or investing their savings, 70% of people, I truly believe that. I believe that we're becoming more financially literate in this country. I don't think that the millennials are doing, but you have the generation, what is it, the Generation X or whatever it is. And then, so I mean, I don't have a lot of faith in the millennials. I think there's like anything else, there's a lot of groups of them that but they do it because it's trendy, right? As long as it starts trending on TikTok, let's be more financially responsible, right? So yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how I feel about that. I think the numbers are interesting, but I'm sure if you're listening to this and you think about your grandkids and your kids, I mean, most of the time we'll get an eye roll, right? It's like, okay, they make a lot of money, but are they spending a lot of money too? And the answer to that question is absolutely yes. Yes, right? So
absolutely.
I got something else that I want to talk about. Well, we're on this topic of saving and investing and everything else. We always preach about how our families that we end up working directly with, most of them have made that shift or that transition into realizing, okay, when is enough enough? Like, how long do I stay on this roller coaster of, well, it was a really good year in the market this year, so maybe I spend a little bit more. It was a really bad year, but I still have to take money out. I still have to live my life. And they're just done with the roller coaster ride. And they know that they have to be more goal focused. There is absolutely no reason why the younger generation can't be more goal focused. But think of all the shiny objects. They all have shiny objects.
Oh, yeah.
The social media, this, that, the other, the Facebook, it's Instagram, all that stuff, right?
I'm guilty.
Yeah, but see, what I like about all of your social media is not only did you take over all the social media for the company, you made it actually beneficial. You're not sharing stories about conspiracy theories and crap like that and getting sucked into what I like to call the dark cone of silence on social media. You're not getting sucked in. You're actually using it as a tool, which is how it was intended to be used. I don't need to know that your pork chop wasn't cooked enough at dinner, and I sure as hell don't need a picture of it on social media, right? I mean, it's just crazy.
Oh, yeah. I have friends who post breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh.
And, now it's just mindless. You just scroll, and you're just looking at nothing, I feel like. I don't need to know what you had for breakfast.
It's crazy because my wife and her friend Anna are so guilty of this. And we were just out to dinner the other day. And as soon as the food came, I went to go dig in. It's like, oh no, wait,
phone eats first.
Right. That's the phone eats first. I love that. I'm stealing that. That's exactly what happens. It drives me crazy. Anyway, where I was going with this is the distractions are multiple, right? So, and especially when we live in such an instant gratification society. So I do have a little bit more confidence that there are groups of people out there, especially younger people, they could be more goal focused, especially that 70% that says they want to be more focused on it. Give us a call. Shoot us a text message. We take text, right?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Shoot us a text message. I don't even know how these young people communicate anymore. It's amazing to me. Like, you can't even talk to somebody
text,
face-to-face.
Facebook, Instagram. We're on all of those. Also, our website, Tax Free Fort Myers. You can follow us on anything on there, including our podcast. You can also download our book. And,
we have a book?
Yeah, we do. Well, you do. Yeah.
I did write a book, didn't I?
You did, yeah. And we're pleased to offer you guys the opportunity to download a complimentary copy of the book, They Lied, The Real Cost of Your Retirement, from, again, taxfreefortmyers.com. No obligation, no pressure. The book features inspiring stories from successful families that we've had Adam's had the pleasure of working with over many years.
Sometimes it was like pulling teeth, but most of the time it was a pleasure. Right?
Most of the time.
It's a whole different shift when you talk about this level of success in retirement. It's a whole different shift. And if you want to be a part of that, I would challenge you. When you read this book, I would challenge you. And if you're listening to this, you're one of our families who already serve, you probably already have read it. But I would challenge you to understand that the book isn't about pointing out problems. It's about pointing out the opportunities that you're missing. Right? It's about understanding that there are opportunities out there that you are not going to see if you are constantly closed-minded and only worried about the performance of your investments. Let's make a change. Use this as an example of what you are going to go through, whether you want to admit it or not. Medicare surcharges can end up smacking you in the face right when you turn 73. You don't even see it coming. Taxes. For the last 40 years, we've been in an extremely low tax environment. $31 trillion in debt. All of the billions of dollars in deficit that we see from what the government spends to what they bring in every year. We keep printing money. Do you really think that all of this is going to last? And if you don't, and if you're ready to face the truth and understand that you cannot focus on your performance in retirement, if you want to be one of those successful families, I challenge you. Read the book and then write me an email and tell me why anything in there is wrong.
Yep. Because come play in our yard.
Come play in our yard, right? Stay.
Fort Myers.
Fort Myers is our yard.
It's our yard.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was a little fired up. I saw that commercial. I'm like, this guy, it's unbelievable. I can't stress enough why you have to be goal focused. Performance is going to come and go. It'll come and go. What part, and the only question you have to ask yourself is, what part of the roller coaster are you on when it comes, and what part are you on when it goes?
Yep.
Right? That's it. That's all there is to it. It's that simple. So anyway, so taxfreefortmyers.com, as you said. You know, the other interesting thing that we talked about a couple weeks ago, and we continue to talk about, is, you know, we talk about inflation a lot. You know, we talk about where we're at with inflation. If you are testing your portfolio at all right now, if you're wondering what your income looks like, you're not one of our families then, because they know every quarter exactly what their income looks like for the next 20 years. But if you're testing it, a big tip that you can use for yourself, that you can tell your family and your friends about, if you have any advisor, air quotes, or institution checking your income and seeing its stability, they're going to go by the last 10 years of inflation, and that number is going to look like 2.6%. So obviously, Lauren, you know how this works. You add 2.6% to your expenses every year, and then you can see how your expenses hold up and how your income holds up, all that stuff. What they need to be using is the 109-year average, which is 3.27%. Okay, that's what we need to use. And that's not being utilized. We're looking at the last 10 years, but we also have 3 or 4 years in there where inflation wasn't even 1%, if you believe the government. So it's definitely important. The other thing, we talked about credit a couple times. Was that the last podcast, or how many times ago was that?
I think it was 1 or 2 ago.
Yeah, I think you had some things you wanted to add today. What do you want to add to that?
Oh, just if you guys want a physical copy of the book, feel free to reach out, contact our office. Again, 239-771-8696. We'll be delighted to arrange a free copy to be mailed to you. We hope, you enjoy reading the book and find it informative and help your planning for your retirement.
Right. What about credit, though? You said you had some things you wanted to go over with credit.
I do.
Something about like the federal rules now?
Federal rules may impact how much you pay for a mortgage.
Okay.
The Biden administration called for changes through the Federal Housing Finance Agency's effort to provide equitable and sustainable access to homeownership.
Here we go. You know what that's code for. If you don't have a house, we really want you to be able to buy one, even if you can't afford it. That's what that's code for, right?
Yep.
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Under the new rule, upfront fees for loans backed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac will be adjusted because of changes in the loan level price adjustments, which are based on things including the borrower's credit score, size of the down payment, type of home, and more.
All I'm hearing is he wants to make it easier for people who shouldn't be homeowners to be homeowners. Is that pretty much what's happening here? I mean, I'm sure there's people that it'll affect in a good way, but that's usually like 2 out of the 10, right? I mean, it's like, holy cow. So 2008 wasn't a lesson to anybody then, right?
I guess not.
This sounds a whole lot like what used to happen in 2008 with those stated income loans, where you could just tell people, hey, yeah, I'm going to make $100,000 this year, and you make 20.
Yep.
Right? You work at McDonald's telling people you're making $100,000 a year. Anyway, in some cases, people with better credit scores may pay more in fees, while those with lower credit scores would pay less. Did I read that right?
That's a mind bomb, like a mind blown.
That's a mind turd. The whole thing's a turd.
It's bad.
Are you kidding me? So my credit score is better. Well, that just taint my credit score then, right? No, I mean, my credit score is better, so I have to pay more just because somebody else has a lower one than me?
Kind of similar to Medicare surcharges.
Oh, yes. So when you make enough money in retirement, if you're one of our families listening, you know exactly what we're talking about. But what'll happen is if your income exceeds $194,000 as a married couple, if your income goes above that, you're going to get a nice letter from the Social Security Administration. They're going to say, congratulations, Lauren, you've done such a great job. Yay! Your income is so high. You're living the American dream. Unfortunately, you're one of the few, and everybody else is suffering. So we're going to have to take a little bit more from you to make sure that everybody else can have their Medicare. That's basically what happens.
Right.
Wow.
Same thing. If higher credit, pay more fees. Lower credit, pay less. It's so crazy.
Wow. And the new rules only apply to loans backed by Fannie and Freddie and impact any new or refinanced home loan signed May 1st or later. So this May? This May 1st that just passed?
It's gonna be May. Yes.
It's gotta be May. Yeah, that's
Justin
good.
Timberlake.
I do. I recognize that.
Yeah,
that's good. And I appreciate I received that.
Yeah.
According to researchers, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac's share of the mortgage market collectively comprised nearly 60% of all new mortgages during the pandemic in 2020. 60%. Well, they made it really easy, right? I mean, if it's an FHA loan, it's only 3% down or whatever it is. I don't know what the rules are now, but
I think it was something like that.
Yeah, it's not much. So that makes sense. Home buyers who put down a larger payment of 15 to 20% could see a bigger increase in mortgage fees. This is real life that I'm reading.
This is
right
real.
Here, right?
This is real.
So they put down 15 or 20% and they're going to see bigger fees in their mortgage fees?
Unbelievable.
What country do we live in right now? What is it? Anyway, analysts say, because we need to make this stop. Analysts say because of the changes, the advantage of having a higher credit score or making a larger down payment is not as big as it used to be. And there it is right there. Take it all away, baby. And let's find a way to make sure everybody can realize the American dream.
Everybody gets a trophy.
That's right. You get a trophy. You get a trophy. You get it. That's right. I hate this. I hate it. I hate it. Anyway, that's what's going on around the world. So back to this again. If you like the podcast, if you like getting all this information, even if you don't and you're listening, I would still love it if you if you could submit, like, alert. What are we talking about here? Subscribe, whatever your button is for wherever you're listening to us. Make sure you hear us all the time, or make sure that you have access to us whenever you want. We'd love to be able to be in your ear for a half an hour, maybe make you laugh a little bit. I do try to do that once in a while. You know, it's
that's what the sound effects were for today.
We have sound effects.
Well, I barked and I did a
yeah, that's right. Yeah, our yard.
It's our yard. This is our yard.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. I know that there's a button I can hit on here for sound effects, but Warren will kill me if I mess this up.
Yeah, don't do it, Adam.
Yeah, I won't do it. Except for this red button. I've always wanted to hit this red button. Like it's the one that says do not push. I just really want to push it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like, subscribe. I don't even know the lingo. Whatever the word is, whatever the language is, the little plus button on your phone that you're listening to. Make sure that we're with you whenever you need a laugh, whenever you need some hope. Because believe it or not, as much as we like to ride this horse till it's dead with who we do and don't like in the office, what's going on in the Capitol Hill, everything like that, we do still have a lot of hope, because the truth of the matter is, when you are goal focused in retirement, it does not matter one bit what the market does, right? It's just the truth. It doesn't matter one bit. Now, again, taxfreefortmyers.com, evolutionretirementservices.com, all of your resources that you need, all of your questions that you have can be answered. Email either Lauren or myself, Lauren at evolutionretirementservices.com, Adam at evolutionretirementservices.com. If you want to have a lot of fun, email Kurt at evolutionretirementservices.com and tell him how much you want to ask him about your budget and different things like that. He got so many emails last week. It was great. I love it when Kurt gets emails. We kind of keep Kurt in the back. He's our partner here. We keep him in the back office. He's a master financial planner. He runs all of our reports, all those numbers, all that fun stuff. Really, most of the families, if you're listening to this, you know that you love Kurt the most, and you know why that's funny when we have everybody emailing him. So until we see you or talk to you, I just want to wish you all of our best. I mean, right, Lauren? We want to wish
Absolutely.
You the best. You know, hopefully you get the help that you need, and hopefully you realize that you do need the information, and you take action. So we hope to see you at a workshop. We hope to see you, at one of our live events, whatever it is. Just stop by, introduce yourselves, talk to us for a minute. Tell us how much you enjoy the podcast. Tell us how much you hate the podcast. I love those conversations. I haven't had one of those yet, but
not yet.
I'm always open to feedback and constructive criticism. As long as it doesn't start with, Adam, you should really jump off a bridge. It's horrible.
Oh my gosh.
That's never happened.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
That's good. Yeah. It's kind of like my worst fear. Somebody says it's horrible. Just get
out of here.
Get out of here. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, do have to go. Speaking of which, any last minute thoughts for you?
You guys come take a stroll in our yard. This is Evolution Retirement Services.
And it is our yard.
We're here to help you navigate your retirement. Again, feel free to subscribe, like, share.
I forgot share. Share is important.
Instagram, Facebook.
You know what my wife says? My wife says sharing is caring.
And
that's
follow.
Important.
Follow us.
That's right. Follow. Got it. All right. Well, we're going to blast out of here until next week. We love y'all. All of our best. And enjoy the rest of your week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Investment advisory services are offered through Evolution Wealth Management Incorporated, an investment advisor registered with the state of Florida. Registration does not imply any level of skill or training. Evolution Wealth Management's unique CRD number is 307644. You can obtain a copy of Evolution Wealth Management's firm brochure, Form ADV Part 2A, free of charge by visiting advisorinfo.sec.gov. Evolution Wealth Management offers investment advisory services only, where it is appropriately registered or exempt from registration, and only after clients have entered into an investment advisory agreement reviewing and confirming the terms of engagement and have been provided a copy of the firm's ADV Part 2A. Insurance services are provided by Evolution Retirement Services. Any guarantees mentioned are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company and may be subject to restrictions, limitations, or early withdrawal fees, which vary by the issuer. They do not refer in any way to securities or investment advisory products. You should consider the charges, risks, expense, and investment objectives carefully before entering a contract. This material has been prepared for informational purposes only and should not be construed as a solicitation to effect or attempt to effect either transactions in securities or the rendering of personalized investment advice. This material is not intended to provide and should not be relied on for tax, legal, accounting, or other financial advice. Evolution Wealth Management and Evolution Retirement Services do not provide tax, legal, or accounting advice. You should consult your own tax, legal, and accounting advisors before engaging in any transaction. Evolution Wealth Management and Evolution Retirement Services are affiliated entities.